Hey, welcome back to Shakesyear. We are still working on Henry VI Part 3, and today we get to hear from Lord Clifford, who was previously known as young Clifford, but graduated to Lord Clifford when the previous Lord Clifford, his father, was killed by the Duke of York, who is actually also now dead, stabbed by the new Lord Clifford and the Queen. And his head has been put on a pike outside the town of York. So yesterday we were hanging out with the former Duke of York's sons, Edward and Richard, and then a bunch of other people like Warwick and so on and so forth. And Edward is now the Duke of York, and Warwick is starting to call him King Edward because he thinks that the whole succession thing should happen because the king said that he would give his crown to the York family once King Henry is dead. But with all of this other stuff that's going on, they're like, no, actually, we should just take it now because we should just take it now. So Warwick has joined forces. He's already tried to stand up to the Queen's army once and lost. All of his men turned and fled. But he's like, with the men that I have left, plus Edward's men, plus Richard's men, plus whatever other men we can find, maybe some Norfolkians, we should be able to take her on. So that's their thing that they want to do. So now in Act 2, Scene 2, we start out with the King and Queen and Clifford and some other random dudes. I think Northumberland is there. They're outside the town of York, and the Queen is like, see, check out that head that's on a pike. That used to be the Duke of York, and there's head, and I did that, and aren't you glad? And the King is like, no, actually that really is disgusting and sucks and makes me sad. And Lord Clifford says, my gracious liege, this too much lenity and harmful pity must be laid aside. To whom do lions cast their gentle looks? Not to the beast that would usurp their den. Whose hand is that the forest bear doth lick? Not his that spoils her young before her face. Who scapes the lurking serpent's mortal sting? Not he that sets his foot upon her back. The smallest worm will turn being trodden on, and doves will peck in safeguard of their brood. Ambitious York did level at thy crown, thou smiling while he knit his angry brows. He, but a duke, would have his son a king and raise his issue like a loving sire. Thou, being a king, blessed with a goodly son, didst yield consent to disinherit him, which argued thee a most unloving father. Unreasonable creatures feed their young. And though man's face be fearful to their eyes, yet in protection of their tender youngs, tender ones, who have not seen them, even with those wings which sometime they have used with fearful flight, make war with him that climbed unto their nest, offering their own lives in their young's defense. For shame, my liege, make them your president. Were it not pity that this goodly boy should lose his birthright by his father's fault, and long hereafter say unto his child, what my great-grandfather and grandsire got, my careless father fondly gave away. Ah, what a shame were this! Look on the boy, and let his manly face, which promiseth successful fortune, steel thy melting heart to hold thine own and leave thine own with him. It's a very powerful speech. It's a very powerful speech where Clifford accuses the king of having no paternal instincts whatsoever. He's like, every single other creature out there will do anything to protect their young, and you just abandoned your son. Like, what? How? What? Who does that? Who does that? And he's a good son too. He would make a good king. Like, look at him. Look at the face. Look at the little punim on that. Like, look at him. He should be king next. Look at him and realize he should be king next, and fight for your own son. Come on. And tomorrow we get to hear the king's response. Otherwise, I'd tell you how he responds. But tomorrow we get to hear it from his own mouth. I'll see you then. Mwah.